Morning all. And so just on a personal note, is your son doing classes or is he going to come and join us in the trading room anytime soon? Yeah, morning. Yeah, morning, guys. Yeah, is your son coming? Because I spoke to him, his name now, actually. Anyway, I spoke to him about a week or so ago. And yeah, just wondered if he's going to be joining us soon. We're just going to do a couple of classes first and just get a little bit of aware of the basics. Morning. Just give another few seconds and get started. I could do, yeah. We had one at 8 o'clock-ish, 10:30, quite right. It's the we had the retail sales at past. It's a little bit worse than expected. Hope it'll follow that trend because we've clearly got a short out in it. Yeah, it's the manufacturing one, PMI, Purchasing Managers Index. Yeah, it could have bit, yeah, depending on the figures, yeah. As I say, I think the non-farm slightly different than the US CPI. Otherwise, good trade. I mean, you've got to be careful like every other time, but it's going to be almost daily. There's going to be something out. So just have to keep your fingers crossed. Trade, I think, is overcooked on this one. As you can see, that's past now. That's why I have to be honest. He WhatsApped me this morning, Marius did, and said, have a look at this. And I said, yeah, I like it. I agree. And so, yeah, I did write it down anyway, so I will share that. So I hope it works out. And yeah, for short. Now, you're probably saying, let's go to the daily. Why are we shorting in here in the buy zone? As I mentioned before, you can get something that's called overcooked or overvalued or etc. And I think the pound at the moment is a bit overvalued and the US dollar is a little bit undervalued. So that was the idea of a short on it. And so far, so good. See if we can break the 124 mark. We can break down with some decent traction on it. Okay, just so you're aware of that. You get some decent traction on the break below 1.24. But anyway, do that as we speak. Let's go back to 15 minutes. It's trying to see lower lows, lower highs, lower highs. Trying to break through. So that doesn't get a decent pullback. Okay, so that's the one. Morning, finally. Morning, guys. So yeah, there's the trade. You've got it up on the QT group, and it's been sent out. So clearly, if you've got it, you know all the figures and that sort of thing. Just pointing it out wide. Okay, it's trying to break through, as you see. So let's do and get some decent traction down there. Okay, see how that goes. Another one we got out is AUDJPY. That was more of a pending. Give me a moment. That's more of a pending. 89.75. That was the entry. Hoping to get a better price. So these risk rewards are based on that figure there. If you want to go in now, well, then obviously you have to do a recalculation because those figures will be different. It'll be a higher risk per micro and a lower reward per micro if the TP is reached. Bear that in mind. But it might not get up there. That's the only thing with a pending order. It might not reach there. It's trying to pop up, but already on the hour, some sellers coming in. Already on the 50 minutes, some sellers coming in, and the 15 times 10 times 15 minutes, I get that right, moving average seems to be holding. So you might say, sod it, I'll go in now. That again is your choice, okay? But whether you wait, maybe get a better price or risk missing out. Remember, as mentioned before, if you want to have your cake and eat it, maybe go half in now, half in at the higher, and if it doesn't get higher and it comes off, at least you're on board. Or you can wait for the lot or say, sod it, I've got it. I prefer to have wider stop and go in now with a full amount. That's your choice. And that's the thing you've got to sort of make that decision on your own. Hope you're all clear on that. Okay, so those two came out. You should have all received it to make you aware of it. You might have been busy and not looked at it, but there we are. Okay. Glad I stuck so far with the NAS and then he cut the position by starting to stick with it. That's quite good, doing okay at the moment, which is boding well for Microsoft for more downside. So let's see if that works. Okay, so they're the two trades this morning. The WTI, has it quite got the TP yet? Don't think it's quite reached it yet. Nearly did. It's nearly there. 76.62. I hope you guys still stuck with it. Like I mentioned the last couple of days, didn't take the profits early, kept a wide stop, modified, and once you're in profit anyway, why get out of it? Let it run. It looks like it could get to TP, hopefully later on today. But I'm assuming you guys are still in it. If you're not, well, you should be. As I said, taking profit too quickly, I'm trying to push that hard, is one of the reasons why people are battling. The trade signals are okay. I think I can agree on that. They've been okay, but we're not maximizing them simply because we're taking the profit too quickly or putting the stop loss too close. The reason being, again, is more emotional and try and sort of overcome that. No problem at all modifying as long as it's towards entry, not away to increase risk, and not too close. Just bear that in mind, let it run. It's a good chance of the TP there. Whether you modify the TP and let it run further, that's your choice, but hopefully it's going to get there. But in the meantime, if you're still in, you can modify the stop. I think you make it, it's pretty close to TP anyway. Make it maybe 77.50. You get stopped out, what the hell? You made a fantastic profit. 77.50, a bit closer than normal because it's getting near to the journey end. So 77.50 is your stop and hopefully get a trickier TP. Okay, a nice one for the road to start with. Okay. Just going back to what we said earlier on, just wanted to say, draw attention to those two fantastic trade ideas that came out today, AUDJPY and GBP/USD. I just can't, I sometimes surpass myself. I think I'm. Oh, hang on a minute, they weren't mine. Welcome, Marius. Thanks very much for your WhatsApp this morning. Please bother me, two good trades. And yep, I have to say, I plagiarized them from you and they've been sent out. So if they work out, well done, Marius. Thank you. I hope I'm going to join. But credit where credit's due if they work out. Okay. So we just went through them. As you see, Marius, thanks very much. That's the contribution help. Okay. You can probably see when I say, God, how brilliant I am, you can probably see there's a little bit of a change in journey coming up. I wouldn't say it really wasn't mine, obviously. So it's my backhanded way of giving a compliment. Okay. NZD for sure. Let's go 3 times lucky on a roll here. NZD CAD. Whilst you're looking at that, get a couple of new guys coming in here. Hi, Ian. There's a few new guys coming in. Just remember, this is a trading room, clearly, as the name suggests. So we discuss trades in here. It's like a forum. One thing about this, I just want to introduce the other guys. And yeah, so you can unmute yourself and interact verbally, or you can put on the chat line there any trades you want to look at, or any questions to ask, etc., just for clarification purposes. Remember, if you don't know anything and you want a full trading here, that's not the job here. That's for the classes, the Zoom class, and Forex and TFDs. But I will clarify any questions and try and take the theory into the next level where we can put those theories into practice, like a forum, a community, a family, where we get moral support and we discuss it. Lots of people say, I like it. It gives you a little bit more confidence to go through, that sort of thing. So join in. That's the major thing. Contribute. If you're not sure, ask. If I go too quickly on something, I've done it before many times, and sometimes I do form a habit of pitching to the more experienced guys at that speed, and the other guy said, what the hell's going on here? Roger, repeat it, slow it down, or whatever. Anna Marie is quite confident of that. She's not sure of something. She'll ask, do it again. That's what you want. No good me just rattling away if it's not being understood. Okay. Right. My only problem with this one, you can probably see what I mean by that, is we've got this guy here. It's only how far away is that? 25 pips away. That's my problem. I agree with the short, but I'd like to see a confirmation first, or maybe pull back to these sort of levels here. Sure, if it comes back up here to about 83.46, I will be very happy to short it. But at the moment, to be honest, it's going to be chasing it with not enough meat in the bones. You see what I mean? This guy's here. I'll just make it a little bit clearer. This guy's here. This guy's here. This guy's here. Hasn't broken through for all the buyers coming in. I'll be honest with that one. I personally wait for confirmation or a rally to sell it short. Rally around these levels to sell it, break confirm, break a little bit. I just think it's just jumping in might be a bit soon here. I see you mean 82.85, 82.85. Not really. I think if you're going to put a sell stop in, I'd rather have it about 82.50. That's my worry, this guy here. And it's still the neutral. It's not a strong sell either. So, yeah. But that's my opinion. Remember, guys, it's my opinion. Hopefully backed up with a bit of experience. So I'm sitting here as a host, but still an opinion. And feel free, it's a democracy, freedom of speech and all that, free to disagree, as long as you've got a reason. Okay. Anyone want to do this now, or a sell stop, or what? Anyone want to do anything at this particular moment? Anyone disagree with my particular analysis on that? Any comments on this Good Friday morning? Hopefully great Friday morning. You're going to wait a bit. Okay, Dirk, fair enough. We'll move on. Don't forget to respond. Thank you. Don't forget to respond. You got your keyboard there. Just tap it out on the WhatsApp or the chat line. Fine. All right. Before we go any further, I just want to try and do my things. A few new guys here. Economic calendar. Often hear us mention something's come out of the pound or the euro or whatever. Where do you get that from? Well, now you've got it. Make sure you copy, paste it, and keep it minimized and saved when you do your trading. You need to keep an eye on the three I'm about to put up here. Just give me a moment. That's one of them. The other one is the dollar index. Extremely important. You have Japanese and euro index or whatever. Don't clutter yourself with too much when you're starting. And even when you've been doing it for a while, don't over clutter. Browse by analysis, try to avoid. but this one's an important one. Again, copy, paste, and save. More familiar, funny. And this one is called the yields or the returns or the interest, whatever you like to call it. Correct word is yield, as long as you know what it means, on the United States US Treasury note. It's a bond, basically. And we're interested in the yields because yields, if they go up, it tends to have a negative effect on the markets, not the forex. I'm talking about the stock markets, and negative effect on gold. Just so you're aware of that. So you got the three. Keep down, copy and paste. If any questions on it, you're not sure, etc., just let me know. Okay, I'm just going to remember this. Just going to put my name down here. Give me a second. My contact details, basically. There you are. If anyone's overseas, then you put +2761 instead. Simple as that. Now, as I always say, a couple of caveats here. First of all, not on demos. If you're only on a demo, I can't assist you. If you got less than 500 Rand or $50, I can't assist you. If you got above that, yes, I can. Keep a note of it. And if I can't and you contact me, I can point you in the right direction. Just remember that. I'm not Stock Market College. Go to the live chat for any queries on that. And not technical support. Again, live chat queries on that. Opening more accounts or whatever. Not what I do. You go to your account manager on the portal. There are the details. However, when it comes to trading, advice, and assistance, that's when you come to myself. The reason being, I'm registered and as a representative with the FSCA on their books, so I'm legally allowed to give advice. If you ever go to another broker or anything like that, make sure the person giving the advice, you can check on the FSCA website, they are there, etc. Because there are a lot of guys out there offering advice and not necessarily qualified to do that. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Okay. Right, so NZD CAD, we're going to wait on that. That's fine. Let's just go through a few trades we've got out. We'll leave in gas, let it run. It's going to be slow. So gold eventually got stopped out, bobbing around. I said if it takes out to get your stop loss up to cover your costs in case it falls back, which it might do. And if it doesn't pull back, continues running, you're on board. Well, it did go up and then it pulled back. And I have to say, at 2006, I modified to 1996 and left it. And I was stopped out with a little bit of a profit, not bad, at 1996. So in theory, you should have been stopped out with a profit on that if you're in the trading room and you went with a suggestion or advice.
But why did it retract so viciously in the last 1.5 hours? If you go to the hour time frame, do you know anything?
Well, I don't know a lot of reasons why. Again, there's a lot of indecision out there, but fair question that. However, having said that, if you look at the yields, they've gone up, and I think there's a bit of dollar strength coming. I'm going to check on the other screen there, and a bit of dollar strength come out. I'm just going to check the economic calendar. I don't think any major, because obviously they're asleep at the moment in the States. I'm not sure, because as I say, what's the time there? It's in New York, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, so not quite sure, actually. Maybe it's a place, I'll tell you what it might be. Even though they're asleep, other people in the world trade other than Americans like ourselves. So I think it might do a little bit because they think that the dollar's a bit oversold or something like that. But other than that, it's just guesswork. I haven't seen anything come out and suddenly at 3 o'clock in the morning, New York time, made it jump up. But the fact it moved up, that brought it back a bit, yeah. If, however, going on to dirt, they went at 1979, I'm okay with it. I'm a little bit careful of the gold at the moment. However, having said that, you can clearly see it's a bit of a range trade at the moment. All that telling you, a range trade means indecisive. Doesn't know whether it's going to continue up or down. The world out there, the buyers and sellers, I'm not sure. So all you can do in that indecision is follow that range. So I don't have a problem getting in that figure there. It's not a bad entry, by the way, and take it back up. Once you get up to maybe 1990, don't forget to get your stop up. Do not forget that. Anything could happen. It is at the moment. So yeah, I'm happy with the trade, happy with the range trade, and maybe we'll get back to the 2000 and you'll be laughing. You should be, what are you on there? Oh yeah, hold on. We're talking about NGAS, absolutely, hold on. NGAS, like I mentioned, Paul, is going to take a while. That's why I say you must, if you're going to do something like NGAS, have enough free margin to do other trades in the meantime. You don't want to tie all your money up on that one. If you're limited and balanced, and I say limits are below 1,000, I would strongly suggest you, it's a bit late now, but I think I mentioned at the time, don't touch it because it is slow. Let it run. I don't want to be negative here, but you could be in there for a month. I've been in NGAS before and sat in it for nearly 2 months at times, but it hasn't affected me. I let it run because my free margin is adequate to continue my trading journey in other symbols or instruments. Okay, so just let the thing run. Okay, good enough. And you got your protected stop, whatever happens. And that's the idea. Okay, so gold, that's fine. Chasing here for some upside. I'll be honest, it's a bad idea, guys. It's a bad idea. Let's say, go on.
Yes, mate. Yeah, but looking at gold, I think we might as well wait a bit for the outcome of the dollar index, because now, if the dollar index closes maybe above, let me say precisely 101.6, 101.8.
Yeah,
we might see the gold retracing back to the 1940s, 1930s, you see. So I was thinking of selling it, but learning from you, I think we are better wait for a buy for a much better price. Okay, thanks, mate.
Fair comment. I hope you all heard what he said there. What Ken said there. He's a regular trader. He's worth listening to. Yeah, I know in short I'm not keen on, but I take your point. Not. You mentioned the 101.60. I take your point again because that's retracing the last hour's candle on the DXY. My thing is 102 gain to hold. That's my feeling. And at this moment, it could change clearly. It's not holding. Okay, so if the 102 doesn't hold, I see some upside. And also remember, I'm going back to psychology again. It affects us all. A fear factor. There's a lot of fear out there. And when the fear comes in, people turn to gold. So I'm not sure. I hate to take your point entirely, but I personally think it's not a bad idea to go in now. We can put a stop down here. Don't have to have a wide one, maybe below there. Maybe a 15 pip stop at 1965. Go in there and you can take it back up to, well, about the TP. If it gets back to 2000, comes off, and you modify it, stop, you make money. But maybe we can get it slightly above it. I'll put it at the top of the range. There we are. Let's try that and see what you think. I think we can go in now, actually. I think that's a step ahead with. I think Dirk's actually just a step ahead of the guy came there, to be honest. Well done, in my opinion. See if it works out, of course. 1965. See what I mean? After you trade ideas you think come from me, actually, not always from me, it's from you guys out there. Or I have to agree with it, sure. But do the suggestion, or I miss it. 2007, try that. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, no, it's not good enough. That should do it. And we just put that up a little bit. Squeeze that, but it doesn't matter too much on that, to be honest. A lot of guys might be out before it. I like the upside. If it gets around there and it starts coming off, either modify a stop or take it in. Or look at the DXY. If the DXY is falling, obviously run with it. But it is choppy because of the fear factor, and that's why I think gold will score. If you've taken it, I've missed it now. If you could explain it, so I'll leave it to Matt. I've got enough trades out there. Don't worry about me. But if you chased it up already, you're starting to see some movement. Okay, I like it. We've got it in 1982. I still think you maybe chase it if you're quick on it. If you like it, work your volume, fund the trade in, and put your stop loss GP afterwards. Okay, I'm going to put it down anyway because I do quite like it. I don't know if anyone else does. I'm going to put it down. It's only 30 bucks a micro, so don't forget. Don't put 0.01 in because it's a very different position size to the Forex, only 30 bucks. I think so, indeed. Yeah, I do. But be on it, guys. Don't take too long. It's moving as we speak. I'm going to put a pending out and see if the other guys like it at the office. I'm going to put 1984. A reasonable risk reward there. That should do it, yeah. Everything's stuck now. Hang on, put that in my mouth. There we go. Give me a second, guys. Just going to copy and post this. Come on. No. Here we are. Right. Okay, Cody, yeah, good stuff. Not enough equity, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm going to bring that point up again. It's very, very important. If you don't have enough free margin, do not go for the trade. Even if you can squeeze it in, you've got just enough to go for the trade, not a good idea, because you've got to maintain free margin in your account. Very, 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 very important. If you don't, you'll get margin called. And that happens means you've not got any free margin. The biggest, not the one of your choice or the one likely or the loser or the winner, it'll be the biggest trade that will be automatically closed for you, and then to free up margin back into your account. Remember, the margin or deposit is like everything else when you borrow money. It is the is the what you call it, is the collateral. So I'm just going to do this quickly. Get this out of the way so we can see what I'm doing here. Things stuck now. Okay, where was I? Things stuck. Discard. There we are. All right. You're going to do it, by the way, so I'm just going to put the risk out for them. Okay, so at the moment it's trading room 3, Roger 0, 2 Marius, 1 Dirk. Got to do some catching up here. Don't want to get bageled in the first set. Well done, guys. Okay, so let that run. Where are we? So a couple of trades we got out before. GBP CHF, just a quick recap, guys, for you. Don't forget, if you have any questions or any trade ideas, I'll stop immediately and go to them. Just doing a recap in a moment, but yeah, just so you know. GBP CHF. Oh, look at this one, my friend. Look at this one. 100, just under 100 pips in profit. You should again be in this one. If you take it too quickly, pity, just doing beautifully. If you're in it, you can modify your stop to 1.11, make it 15, 1115, 1.115. If you got that, modify, you can have a handsome profit even if you stopped out, and you get even more handsome profit if it continues obviously south. It's getting there on the daily, a bit of strong, as you can see, resistance there. So yeah, just make sure. In fact, I think maybe 1.1110. It might have a bit of a bounce here, or maybe you can catch a position. Might be an idea because there's a little bit of buyers coming in. Maybe catch a position. So if you've got more than one micro, you can just catch your position. I'll take 2 seconds to show you how that's done. I'm sure you'll know, but just in case, you go to the one you want to cut, highlight it, double click on the volume, and then if obviously 0.01 you can't, it's the smallest, but you've got more than that. Close the volume you want by putting the finger in there. In this case, maybe I want to close half of that, so I put in 0.05, and then I click on the yellow button there. Half will be banked and the other half will run, and modify your stop. Hope you've all got that. So there you are. Okay. You see Microsoft there, it won't move because just don't forget the share market is only opens at 3:30. Notice I'm getting out of the way now. You don't like staring at it all day. It puts you off, you know, just let it do its thing. Okay, right. So share markets, US share markets open 3:30 and close at 10. And it's a different position size calculator. Remember, this is for everything but the shares. Don't forget that. Okay. If you don't have it, please, absolutely vital, go and get it. Live chat, technical support, they'll download onto your laptop for you. If you've got a phone, you have to go to the App Store. But please don't try and enter a trade. If you can't work out the volumes, this will help you do it. Getting the right exposure. Budgeting, basically, is very important. We call it equity management. Very, very important. Okay. All right, so that's a beaut. Nice one. Cyril only came out yesterday and already 100 pips in profit. Just watch it a little bit. And like I said, I've given you what to do. Whether you take it or not, now entirely up to you. Okay, CAD JPY. That's doing fine. We're at 99.94. Clearly, that's another handsome profit. So if you guys took this yesterday, again, same story. Protect your profits, modify. Where can you modify this? It's holding around a psychological round figure. Nothing to do with, as I mentioned before, anything other than psychological. There's no rationale to it. It's just people thinking around numbers. So often you get TPs, exits, and all sorts of stuff happening at a round figure. And 99 is clearly a round figure. I think you can modify, give it a bit of room to move, maybe 99.30. So modify to 99.30. That means if you get stopped out, you make 60 odd pips. And if you don't, you'll make more than 60 pips. You get the general idea. Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah, it is absolutely brilliant. Again, it wasn't my idea, but I backed it, to be honest. So the trades are looking a little bit more like Miss World or Mr. Universe at the moment. Good looking. Okay, what else? WTI, oh yes, US dollar, Swiss franc. That came out on, I think it was on Tuesday, if I remember rightly. What's the 18th? I think it's Tuesday, yeah. US dollar, Swiss franc. We got in on that one, 89.72. 89.72, that's doing okay as well. It's now 30 odd pips in profit. If you're in that one, you took that trade, clearly obviously still in, you can modify your stop loss to entry, take all risk out of it. No profit as yet, but if it breaks through the 89 mark, at least then you'll make a decent profit. Watch it a bit, there's a little bit of strength creep in the dollars mentioned, but it seems to be holding at 102. But if it starts moving up above that, it might be an idea to take it because, as I say, you will be protected if you do what I suggested. Pretty nice to get out a couple of bucks out of it. I'll be honest, I already modified my stop a little bit closer, I think, actually. I'm not quite sure, but I think it hit the stop. I can't remember now. Anyway, the point is modify and make sure you're protected. Okay, one really can't do much about that. That's the point about the battery. If the battery's low, you're going to have to get top it up. And you got load shedding. Might have to time. I think coming about 2 o'clock here. Can't remember. Okay, so there you are. Modify WTI. I mentioned earlier on. It's heading very close now to the moving up a bit as we speak. Got pretty close to the TP at 76.40. You can see. It's had a little bit of a move at the moment, so we can do it. Make it 77.50. If you're still in 77.50, you'll make a handsome profit. So they're looking pretty good. We'll come look at that in a minute. One deal. I don't know how they're doing. I'm looking at WTI at the moment. So those guys in WTI, please modify. It's close, very close. But if the dollar does strengthen a bit, we might get some good stuff. Okay, the gold's been sent out. So I'm just going to copy and paste to my group. Just a second. So it's quite encouraging. So you have a bad run and then have a good run. We're about a 75, 80% hit rate the last couple of weeks or so. Before that was about a 50-50, so it's okay. Good. Alrighty, where were we at? Okay, WTI, I've mentioned that. And you're not sure, you want to recap, please run that by me again. That's what we're for. Right, so let's go back because the gold, did it start to move decently? Yep, start to move, so we're already in a profit. That's good. And what was the other one? AUD, JPY. Don't know if you took it or not. We wanted 75. Looks like might not get there. So I don't know if you want to take it in the meantime. It's up to you. GBP USD, as it broke through the round figure. No, not quite. Let's see if we can do that. It's going to break through the round figure 1.24. Give that a bit of a time. Okay. Let's look at a shorter term for you. Oh, hang on. It's not up as 10 yet. So what's happening there? 10:30 is the PMI coming out on the pound. Quite sure. Euro came out at 10. Services PMI in the euro slightly higher. Okay. Yeah, leave it alone. See how it goes. Okay, right. I think we covered everything. I think we had a EJS one, a trading momentum strategy one. I think it's a CAD CHF. I think Fani was in that one. I'm not sure, but he should have been on a sell on that one. Clearly, he should be in profit. How are you, Fani? How are your EGS ones doing? Because I'm in a couple of...
JPY is quite good, thanks.
Okay. I think I should check mine.
70 pips in profit.
Okay. CAD CHF. The others are out. Okay. That's fine. Brilliant. Okay. So it's looking pretty good. Okay. Right, I think that's covered. I don't think I've missed anything. You got my number. Oh, yes. One last thing before I forget. You guys, this right click on the blank part of the chart and don't forget, go to templates and save the template. Okay, I'll do it again. So you're all with me. Right click, templates, save the template, put your name in, save it. So if you lose it, right click, go to templates, and there's your saved one sitting there, up and running again. Okay. If you haven't got the 50 and the 200, please put it on. They're universally used, very, very important, and save it. 100, I like, and also important, but not as important. These two, they're important. And I like the 10 as well. You can put that on as well. You see the colors. It's in order here, 10, 50, 100, and 200. Very important. And save it. you want to find anything about the instrument, left click, right click, go to specification, and there are all that's a micro. If you haven't got a micro and you haven't got more than 5 or 10 grand, well, 35 grand, maybe 10 grand, pushing 35 grand or more, do not do the Dow or the Nasdaq. Rather go and get the micro, which is only contract size of 1 instead of 10, which means it's a smaller. So if you have less than 5 grand, suggest you go for the micro. Don't go 0.01, you go 0.06. It means it's a tradable instrument without being overexposed. Very important. Hope you all know that. How do you get hold of it? You haven't got it. Could you do it again?
Incoming mail.
Put in there Dow micro and click and save it and enter it. If it's not there, I'm afraid you're going to have to go and open it from the portal. Any hassles on that, you can always call your account manager, but it gives you the option of the micro. It will be a separate account, so you'll have to, unfortunately, have to add funds to it, which is a bit of a hassle, I know, and you can't use anything else, only for the micros, but we're getting better at it. We're getting where more people can put on their normal watch list, like I've got on mine here. I'll show what I mean. This one's the micro. How do I know? Because it says so. If this is the other one, that's the normal one, and that means that's 10 times the volume. So 0.01 on here is 10 times the rest of 0.01 on here. Don't forget, the micro is already good. Okay, let's cover that. All right, I think I've covered the basics again, which is important. You all should have the calendar, the VXY, the blue size calculator, chart set up. We looked at the trades we've been in. They're looking quite pretty, very blue at the moment, which we all like. So that's me covered on that aspect. Oh yes, sorry, there is something else. A personal community group. I thought on Thursday coming, I'll be doing a morning session. It turns out I'm not. Just let Pete in here. I'm not doing a morning session. So there's no trading room on the Thursday. Friday morning, yes, there is. And the following Monday, being May Day, there's no trading room. So it'll be trading room today, this morning, not Friday afternoon. Monday normal, Tuesday normal, Wednesday normal, Thursday closed, Friday morning it'll be on again, and then again back on Tuesday. Then we got all these holidays sorted out for April. Okay, so there is. I was quite happy to do a trading room on the Thursday, but decided not to set sure. So I think I'll just fly down to Cape Town in my private jet and take the Cape Townians for a pub lunch. How's that sound? Actually, I've got a more intelligent idea. Cape Town fly out here in their private jets and all these great signals and take me out for a bloody lunch. How's that for a better idea? Okay, guys, before we talk too much nonsense, anything else you'd like to look at? Don't forget, guys, and you want clarified on, you're getting a bit lost in here, what's going on, not sure, ask. I know some people are a bit shy, but yeah, some have to overcome it if you're not sure. Don't want to be driving on the wrong road, they say. And I'll be honest, I don't know. I quite have to admit it, I don't know. Some of the other guys, like I admit it, I'm not that good at tech. Finally once had Mark on. Mark Shift was in an IT company. So he said, can you do this? And I didn't bloody know. So we all learned. Hey, remember that, finally. That's what the tech guy's for. Clinton, I just changed support as well. The platform trading, he's outstanding on the tech side of the MetaTrader 5 platform. If I'm not sure, I go straight to him. So that's also good.
Yeah, it's nice. We functionate or are functional and everybody's contributing on their speciality. That's great stuff.
That's the point. We try to work as a team here. Exactly. Not just the trade room, but the guys that work there. We back each other. We back the account manager backs us. We back the tech support. They do a great job. They really do, I must admit. And they need a lot of patience, more than I've got, because some people, quite frankly, are just not technically minded. I'm not a complete dunderhead, but I'm not quick. And these guys are, so they have to exercise a lot of patience, which they're pretty good at, and they're on it. And so, yeah. The tools are there, you just need to use them and learn how to use them properly. Remember the 3 things you need, just to recap again, sorry if I'm boring you. Three things you need to be successful in trading. You have to have all three. If you don't, you're not going to happen for you. And that's you've got to have the right tools, the knowledge, and the capital. Take one of them out, it's no good. If you haven't got the tools, you've got the knowledge, the capital, you're wasting your time. If you've got the knowledge and the capital, but you haven't got the tools, you can't place an order. If you've got the knowledge and tools, but you haven't got any capital, you can't place an order. So all three have to be there. Don't forget. Mention timelessly, please have realistic goals, not ridiculously improbable goals. Everyone says, I want to be a billionaire. There's only about a couple of thousand of them in the world. I've a lot compared in the past, I must admit. But a couple of thousand out of 8 billion people rather set your sights rather more pleasantly. And trust me, you can have a pretty good life and $1 million. You don't have to have a billion. Okay, a little bit on interest rates. UK now has got one of the highest interest rates going, over 10%, not interest rates, sorry, beg your pardon, inflation. We were sort of smacking in South Africa is almost a daily pastime over here. But compared to the debt ratios, compared to America and Japan, it's not bad. And our inflation, believe it or not, is below a lot of countries in the European sector. So there are some good stuff. The major problem, as we all know, which you don't have to go into in and out, is the transport problems with Transnet and, of course, our good friend, the electricity power problems. But yeah, so there are some good things on the horizon there. Okay, right. The NASDAQ just got to stay below 13,000. You saw I'm still in it. As for chasing it now, I'm not comfortable with that. If you see a bounce on the NAS, let's put on the daily. You see a bounce on NAS, and you got free margin, guys, because we've got quite a few trades out, and not everyone, although they're doing well, they still need to have free margin. Rather get near the 13.2 mark and sell it. Okay, don't try and chase it now. I'm hopefully getting a break below, but it's battling to break down. If it does, anyone in the Microsoft trade should see some. Well, we're doing okay at the moment, but it'll do even better. So yeah. Don't try and chase it now. If it breaks down, maybe you can chase it then, but not quite at the moment. And maybe a little bit circumspect going into the NAS, going into the weekend, unless you get a serious move, then you might. Okay. Because remember, going into the weekend, you can't do anything till Monday. So there we are. A lot of questions. Should I let my trade run over the weekend? Absolutely. No problem there. What Fani does is often puts a trading stop in. So he's covered, or better still, sorry, I made a mistake. What Fani often does is when he goes to sleep, he'll put a trading stop in. But what you can do is modify a stop going into the weekend if you're in a nice profit, just in case you have any problems on Monday morning, something like that. How do you put a trading stop in? I'll just show you, you might not know that. Show you quickly. Go to your laptop and you highlight the one you want to do there. You see that's highlighted? And then right click on that icon just beside the instrument of choice, go to your trading stop, and then, sorry, trading stop, and then you go to custom. Now, this is important. We are dealing in pips, not points. 10 points, 1 pip. So if you want to put a 25 pip trading stop, you've got to put 250. If you put 25 in, you've got 2.5 pip stop, you're going to get stopped out. It's just too close to the market. We call that the noise, the up and down noise. And you go to a 1 minute chart, you see up and down. So make sure you get that trading stop correct. If not sure and you want to do it, you can ask, Ian will show you. If not, you can just WhatsApp. I want to put a trading stop in. I can't take all day there to show you do it. I'm sure you need to know how to do it. It's impossible to message how to show you how to do it. You've got the chance now to show how to do it, and then just say, I'd like to put a trading stop in on the GBP USD going into the weekend. What do you think I suggest, or whatever? And then I'll say maybe put in 350 or 400 or whatever. Okay. Make sure you understand this is in points, not pips. 10 points, 1 pip. Okay. I hope you're all happy with that. And don't forget, you can cap your position. I'll do it again. Don't forget as well, look at Microsoft. there's a figure there of 10, right? Don't put the same volumes on a share as you would on a Forex, because the exposure, the contract size is way different. It's only 1 on a share. That's why I've got 10. That might be a little bit big for some people, but it doesn't really matter. Put in like 1 or 2 or 1.5, or you can do it fractional, but don't go 0.01. Otherwise, if you do hit your TP, you've got the down payment on a box of matches. You're wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? Just bear that in mind and go to the risk reward calculator on your learning management system. You should be able to log in there. If you haven't or you lost it, go to tech, apply your login or your system for your account manager. That's their job. They'll help in that. It's just the advice why I come in on. Okay, just so you know on that basis. Yeah, and if you send specifications, let's go to Microsoft to show what I mean. Any share, doesn't really matter. It tells you by left click, right click, specifications. It tells you contract size 1, and it says the deposit or margin is 0.055%. 5 into 100, that figure into 100 gives you a leverage, which is 20 to 1. Okay, if you go to a Forex one, where's a Forex here? Here's a Forex one here. If you go to that one there and you right click, specifications, it says 100,000 the contract size. That's why you do your 0.00 some whatever. Get the idea? It's a bigger exposure. 1 is ginormous on a Forex. 1 is pretty bloody tiny on a share. Just bear that in mind psychologically. And as you can see, this is a higher leverage. On the share, it was 0.05. Here it is 0. On the share, it's 0.05. On it, it's 0.005. So this one is a 200 to 1 leverage. Divide that in to 100, and that will give you a leverage. So on this one, the leverage is 10 times higher. Just know the information and do your thing. Very important. Still not sure? Ask. We've got a quiet session at the moment, so just take it from there. Okay, I've all good on that. Any questions? You can all park close now. Anybody not understand that? You do it again with pleasure if you're not sure. If you're all sure, fair enough. Any questions? Are you all good there? Any EJs you want to look at? While you're looking at that, I want to explain what an EJS is, a momentum strategy is. Purely trading room, nothing to do with the office or anybody else. Purely evolved here in the trading room, way evolved. It's called a momentum strategy or an EJ because the guy came up with the idea of Etienne Joubert. He's in Japan at the moment, but what they call it EJS, EJ strategy or momentum strategy, it doesn't really matter as long as we're all on the same page. It's completely separate. How does it work? You go to the daily and you look, is it in the buy zone or in the sell zone or the neutral zone? If it's in the neutral zone, believe not the black one, but the blue and the brown one. If it's in that area there, you ignore it. It's above, you look to buy, it's below, you look to sell it. Here it's clearly in the sell zone. So what you do is you go to the hourly chart. Remember that? Hopefully we've got notes taken. Have a pen and paper hand to take notes. Just a question, a reminder to clarify, very important. Then you see, is it below the 10-hour moving average? Yes, it is. So therefore, yes, you could sell it. So why aren't we going to do it now? My problem with that is to think the ship a sell. You want to sell it fairly close on entry to that one. It's a little bit far away at the moment. All right, 10 pips doesn't sound much, but it has come off quite a bit. So maybe this one, in theory, yes, I think maybe leave it. And if it pops back up here, then you can sell it down. When you do that, it's a 30 pip stop, no TP, and then you just modify the stop till either you get stopped out or it turns around and comes above the 10-hour moving average. If it comes above that like it did over here, not this one is straddling over here, you'd be out if you're on a sell. If you went in on this level here, you hold and hold and hold, you go in here with a 30 pip stop, which is 55, 32, 55, 50. And by the time you are here, you're going to modify your stop to 54, 10, something like that. So you've already got a 40 pip profit. So you continue that till you're stopped out. If you want to put a trading stop of 30, you can do instead. Entirely up to you. No TP, let the thing run till the momentum changes. Hope you all got that. And if you can spot it, There's quite a few there, and quite a time you can start going from, let's say, the top of an alphabetical order. If you want an alphabetical order, there's a symbol there, a little triangle there. Click on that, it'll automatically become alphabetical order. It's just easy to find. So start with AUD, CAD, and then you just move down till you see that's in a neutral. Don't look at it. Move on to the next one until you find something, and then we can look at it. This one is clearly a sell. Sorry, I'll go back to the daily. Don't forget the daily. Clearly it's a sell. Can we do it on the momentum strategy? Too far away. You need to really be on here. You say it's all very well, but the time there was 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's tough. You missed it unless you're awake at that time. But that's a bit late to chase. So you go on to the next one. Are we all good with that one? This one clearly a sell, but keep doing that. Go back to the daily. It's really not for the EJ because we want the entire candle in the sell zone. So we'll leave that. Okay. And so on. Hope you're all good with that. Just look at the GBP USD. Trying to come off it. It's trying to come off. Popped up, the sells have come in. Keep your fingers crossed on it. Gold. Okay, it's doing okay. Not shooting the lights out. I agree, but it's trying to do it. In fact, got up to here just now. 1990. So it's trying. Very trying. Okay. All good. Any questions on that? Got information overload? Let me know. We'll go over it in more detail or quicker 2-3 times till you get it if you want to do it. And it's quite a useful strategy. We've had us finally and the others have had quite success. I certainly have doing this strategy in times where there's not many trades going out for fundamental fears or whatever that happens to be. So that can often be just purely momentum, another opportunity for you guys. Okay, Koenig, great to have you back anyway. I understand you've got to go, you got to go. Have a great one yourself. Hope we have a return of your gracious return of your company next week. Okay.
Yes, mate.
Go for it, Ken. Go on.
As I was saying earlier, that a weekly close above 101.82 with the DXY might see the gold retracing for the next 2 weeks. Do you think that can manifest? Because I'm considering to sell the gold if that happens. Do you see the dollar picking up a bit or?
No, I'm not too sure about that. The favor now at the moment is not so much the dollar. 2 weeks, I'm being honest, to predict tomorrow is not that easy. 2 weeks, too many fundamentals can get in the way. So I can't really comment on that. Too many unknown variables. If that does occur, where it does take out the 102 and remains above there and continues upwards, no problem about selling gold. But at the moment, it tried 102, didn't succeed, and it's now at 101.89. So in other words, it's still hovering with that 102 holding. So my action's still on the upside of gold. It's very, very decisive, you can see. But I still say at the moment, at least, be long on it, but that situation probably fundamentally driven going into next week. Okay. Remember, I don't know if you got the update, the morning update. They're still fairly hawkish in the States. They've increased the likelihood now, percentage-wise, at 0.25% in May increase. And there's even talk, all right, so it's not a majority, it's below a 50% expectation, maybe even another one in June. So it's still inclining towards the hawkish side, which would be, quite frankly, a little negative on the dollar. So, which means in theory, it's not at the moment, by the way, but that's very short term upside on gold. That's what I think anyway, Ken. And once you're bruising that, don't forget, guys, you're staring all the time. These ups and downs can drive you wild. Jumps up and down. You know, that might be 1980 just now or 1990 just now. This movement up and down, very, very short term, is just millions of variables. You can't really predict that. You've got to have an overall picture. Okay. Oh, you've got to go as well, Andrew. Fair enough. Anyway, going back to Ken, that's my take. What do you think? Anyone else want to contribute to that? I think at the moment, with a hawkish stance, I think 102 might hold, which means I want to be long gold. That's my particular take. If, however, Ken, it goes back up to these sort of levels here, you know, and then maybe 2000, and the dollar starts to strengthen again, then that'd be a better sell to bring it down rather than try to sell it anywhere near here. Okay, fuel shooting off, fair enough, Anthony. Right, a lot of people going to the early stage, not a problem. Just remember in 4 minutes time, I think there's something coming out again on the pound, just to remind me, PMI or something, was it? Yeah, PMI is coming up as 10 on the pound. Well, it remind me about just before 1/2 just to shoot over the pound, see if it's going to help us or hinder us in that trade. Okay, it's a bit quiet at the moment. I think maybe they're waiting for that. Let's just see on that one. Coming up in a couple of minutes, don't spend all day on it. But yeah, so any comments on what I said or Ken said, or how do you feel about it? Yeah, it's worth tracking. Yeah, I agree. I've done a bit of gold stuff, don't know what he feels on it. Any comments? Any questions? Anything you want to recap on the next minute? Just before I wait for 10, I get that. But anyone to recap or any comments you'd like to make? Any of the newer guys? Most of the names I've actually recognized there. I think I recognize all of them. Yeah, I think I recognize all of them. So you know, okay. I just hope I don't frighten off you guys. Sephora, what do you think? Sometimes might speak quickly or get complicated and they think, what have I got myself into? I don't want to frighten them off. I want them to say there's a little bit to it, learn. A 010 number. I never take an 010. Never. Time now. Just after. It's about another 40 seconds to go. See what happens on the pound here. What's the NAS doing? It's trying to come off this stuff. Quick AUD I think that might, pending order, might not get filled. It looks like it's coming off. So if we took it anywhere at market, should be okay. If you modified your stop on WTI, might have just got there. Just flirty, it might be out. I don't know. I don't understand it anyway. Go back to GBP USD. There's a handsome pocket where just put on the 15 minutes. There we are. Just see what happens. Give it a few seconds. See if this is going to help us or hinder us. Naturally. Ah. Oh, it's not too bad. And also naturally, you know, we flick a coin. What is the figures in? I'll tell you now. GBP hasn't been released yet. Maybe you just refresh it. It hadn't come out yet on my calendar, but don't know why. It should refresh automatically. Moment's not staggering, is it? It's not jumping around too much. Anyway. Okay, any questions? All good? Anything on the momentum strategy going into the weekend you spotted, guys? Good, thanks, Bert. Are you all up to speed on the basics? that we talk about. Well, I talk about all the time, but make sure you're up to speed with it. Good stuff, Brian. You okay there, Claire? Yulan? Johan? Good. Well, I think make sure it's clear, because it is important. And I don't want guys getting frightened off and think what the hell's going on here. Interact, and I will try and assist. All good. So you start to see some light, hey Claire, is that correct? Is it starting to say, hang on, I'm starting to get some idea what the hell's going on? Thank you, Jan. Is anything you're particularly confused about? Let's, it's quiet now. I doubt we're getting any more trades out today. Keep an eye on the ones you got, and maybe you spot something and clarify, and someone else didn't know that. So I didn't know that. You'll know how to tap your position without closing it, pair it or bank some of it. Okay, that means you learned a bit. It's fascinating, good. And what I like about that, if it's fascinating, in theory, it should be of interest. Because it's surprising how clever and good at something you are if you have an interest in it. You're not interested in the vehicle to get you there. The trouble is, you're not going to put the hard yards in.
Well,
yep.
The manufacturing PMI from GBP is 2% lower than the expectation.
Come out the last on mine. I can see it now. Yeah. No. One was, yeah. Oh, the composite PMI and the manufacturing, yeah. Slightly lower. The other one was slightly higher, evens it out. Okay, now I've got it now. One was slightly lower, one was slightly higher. That confused the market. That's why you got this sort of thing. Is it good or bad? One's not so good, one's not so bad. That's why you get this confusion. Remember, we do the straddle trades. When it comes out as expected, confuses the market in order to make of it. Is that good or bad news? You know what I mean? Just on that subject, I think you're all aware of it. Non-farms and CPI in the US, the non-farm payrolls, you should all be aware of that. Coming out, I think it's really what the dates. First Friday in May. Just let me check quickly. First Friday in May will be the 5th. So the 5th of May, we'll do a 2 o'clock opening session in the trading room. We'll still do the 9:30 one, and we'll do to 11. We won't do the afternoon because it's a Friday. We will do a 2 o'clock session where I'll show you, most of you guys know it, but some who don't, show you a straddle trade where we can take advantage of the 2:30 release of the non-farm jobs data. Okay, the CPI, I think, is coming out a week later. We do the same. So those two set aside for a month. We'll update you close to the time to remember to join me in the 2 o'clock trading room, where half an hour early, just to prepare everything, get it right and ready, so you can place the straddle trade and then take it from there. And those who've done it so far, have found it quite profitable. And when we get one, there's a big difference to the expected. It should make it a very happy Friday. What we want is a big difference above or below, and you'll see some jumping about, and that's why you should take a good profitable advantage of it. Okay, just bear that in mind as well. Hope you're all aware of that. If you're fairly new, Claire, we're talking about a straddle trade where you put a buy stop above the market on the euro dollar. Just quickly go for it, it's a bit quiet at the moment. Buy stop above the market, put on 50, you see a bit clearer. So the buy stop would be, let's say, 10 pips above that, and then the sell stop would be 10 pips below there, just before the release, just after 2:25 on the Friday. And then as the news comes in, if it shoots up, you're on board. That buy stop is kicked in. You immediately close the one that's not filled and you run with it. If it goes the other way, you close the buy stop and let that one run. And those who've already done it, and if they did properly, some made a cock of it, to be honest. If they did it properly. Dirk's just left. He's done it 2 or 3 times. I know he's still there. Good stuff, Dirk. You've done it 2 or 3 times, and you've had success on it, haven't you? It's not just me saying it. It needs some backup on there. So Dirk, and I think Farney as well, has had some success doing that. So, and it's a quick buck to be made as well, which is nice. Everyone likes a quick buck. There you are. So Dirk had there you are. And remember that the news coming out, the figures coming out are pretty close to expected. You made a nice profit. Believe me, when they're a big difference, then you're going to see some seriously nice ones. You can make over 100 pips, 150 pips in the first few minutes. What a pleasure. Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. Yeah. Finally made a profit as well. Anna Marie just had to leave, but I know she did. To be honest, the only guys that didn't understand what I was talking about, or they got the trade wrong. Well, I didn't know what they did. They must have done something wrong. Make sure you understand the mechanics. And again, don't forget, run it by me again and not sure. Don't place a trade unless you understand the mechanics of the trade. Not that difficult. And it's an adrenaline rush, exactly. There's nothing quite like it, is it? When you suddenly see, let's say you got in the buy stop here, the sell stop down, the buy stop here, and the market price is down here, and suddenly it shoots up like that. Wow, what a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I've seen move 150 pips in a minute on a big differential to the expected in the actual. What a pleasure. A nice way to go to a Friday knockoff time, eh? Nice way to go into the weekend. Like finally then can buy himself a more expensive single malt, you know?
Now with that kind of profits, I buy a malt and I started off with a case of quartz. What a pleasure.
What a pleasure, yeah. I don't mind whiskey, but I'm a bit of a sort of a basic kind of a guy. I like my quartz or my beer, you know? The only thing I'm missing is a decent book.
A decent what?
Book, you know? How do you pronounce it? Book, you know, the stomach. You know, that beer book.
Okay.
Beer book, a book, yeah. Decent book. Yeah. I like kind of bride, beer in my hand, talking rugby. We're very much South African men in that way. Ladies in the kitchen doing the salad, men talking rugby. But the only thing I'm missing is a decent book. You're going to have a big book hanging out. Then you know you're a real man. Which is a joke. Book.
A
real.
True.
How about pronounce it right? Book. I call it book. I hope that's properly.
Ladies in the kitchen doing the salads.
You like that? Yeah, you like that? Yeah. That's tradition.
Like,
I know that's before everything took off in the States, where you know you have gender fluidity and gender bender and all that stuff that makes a fuss about. Good old days. Women moaning about their boyfriend, partner, husband, or whatever, doing the salad, quite happily moaning about the men, and the men quite happily standing over the bride, talking rugby, beer in their hand, their book hanging out. That's the image here.
it's a vibe.
Run a Coca-Cola, and a Bryflace, let's say. Spook and Diesel and Bryflace. I picked up the best of the culture, hey.
Yeah, I must take off my hat. You learned quite a lot. Tradition is important.
Yeah. Excuse my ignorance, Dirk. What's a Zamalek? I'm not sure what a Zamalek is. Thought my general knowledge is pretty good, but that one you got me. What's a Zamalek, guys? Having a good time there, Jacob. It's a black label beer. Didn't know that. Well, there's something there. I've drunk black label many times. Black label Carling many times. Didn't know about the Zamalek. Yeah.
Yeah, Zamalek or a Zama. You try drink enough to get your head clean.
Okay, Zama. I like that. So Zama, yeah. What's the other one? Sate the Cape in shape. It's another one of those, yeah. Anyway, that's getting close to bewitching hour, I think. It's getting close to beer time on a Friday. That's when I lived years ago. I used to live in Cape Town. And to tell you what, you want to go and see an area with no people and you want to be a hermit, go to the office at lunchtime. They've all left. If you want to find them, they're all forest or the waterfront or somewhere. No, that's true, yeah. Okay. Well, it seems that GBP is holding up, so that's fine. Didn't anyone took the AUD JPY? There was a pending one. I don't know they jumped in on it. But if you did, I think you're doing okay at the moment. It didn't really reach the 75 I hoped it would. Got pretty close. If the guys did take it around about these areas here, that's fine. Should be okay. All right, guys. Anything you want to talk about before we close up for the weekend? Oh yeah, I'm just thinking of Claire and a few ladies here. We talked about some good stuff there about ladies in the kitchen doing the salad. Here's one you might like. I have to show my face with this. The women usually like this one. Do you know why males can't parallel park properly? Any idea why males can't parallel park properly? Look at the screen, because they think that is 12 inches. Do you like that? The ladies usually think that's very funny. You like that, Claire? Yeah. Nine for down to a beer and a wind down, wind down. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. It's a little bit early. I'll stay on with pleasure, but we had a bit of fun. But anything else, just on the trading side, just before we go, any clarification, anything you want to be run by again, or just in case, whatever going to the weekend, you've got the trades going out, you've modified, I hope. You should all be in a profit on those trades. Make sure you prepare yourself on that basis. Anything else you just want to recap on before we close up?
No, thank you very much all. This was really enjoyable. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, fantastic. You guys as well. And yeah, hope to see you on Monday morning, 9:30. Thanks very much, guys. Go well. Cheers.